Poland is joining the group of 6 biggest EU economies. So what does it mean for the country and what will be the consequences for the entire European Union? To discuss it, we're joined by Jan Krzysztof Bielecki, former Prime Minister of Poland. Good evening, Mr. Prime Minister, and welcome to TVP World.
Very good evening to you.
So it's really cold in Warsaw today, but it seems that the hell has frozen over too, because after many years, if not decades, of this narrative of Europe of two-speed, which was very unfavorable for Poland, now Poland is invited to join the group of E6, the 6 countries, and strengthen the narrative of Europe of two speeds, but now it is in Poland's favor. So is this the Europe of the two-speed that Poland agrees to?
Well, I wouldn't go that far, at least at this stage. Yes, you're perfectly right. Since the beginning of the process of Polish integration with the Western Europe and the European Union, there was endless discussion about multi-speed Europe and different combination of countries which were eager to accelerate and those who were in favor of slower pace. But this approach I would understand as probably the only possible solution for the European Union member countries, which is so-called coalition of the willing. So if we cannot change the...
Not to be mistaken with the coalition of the willing for Ukraine's benefit.
Yes, that's one of the opportunities. Mm-hmm. But what I'm saying is that if you cannot structurally change the organization, because you will never get through with a new treaty, or you will need maybe a decade or so. So if you cannot proceed forward according to the amended law, because the situation needs you to have amended law, then the only solution for this proposal, as for any different solution, as also like this coalition of the willing for the sake of Ukraine, this is the only solution where some countries could agree upon a narrow, hopefully narrow scope of activity and say, okay, we will to go forward at a little bit faster pace. And as the outcome of the situation, we had a recently meeting of those 6 finance ministers of those countries. I think it was even on online only. And when the Polish finance minister put forward a suggestion that maybe the scope of the group E6, as sometimes they call it, should be on deregulation. This is what the Polish government recently introduced quite successfully, or improvement of competitiveness.
Precisely.
But in my opinion, the narrower is the scope, the better for the solution.
Mr. Prime Minister, Lars Klingbeil, Germany's finance minister, said today, let me quote, "We won't be a new institution, no exclusive club, but we are 6 deciding countries that have agreed to speed up together." So apart from the fact that it's, how you have explained it, it's created to bypass all these vetoes within the EU, what should we expect from this no club of 6 European countries?
That was a little bit proven during this my first coalition of the willing for the security of Ukraine.
Yes.
Where exactly they managed to put forward solutions which were opposed, blocked by a single country. So can you imagine 27 countries is facing a serious problem, and then with the opposition of one little member state, everybody is obliged to put it on hold and wait until sometimes through kind of a horse trading negotiations, the single one will eventually accept the proposal. This is not how European Union should be operating in the situation of the present geopolitics, tensions, war at our doorstep. Now we have to act quickly.
Right, and talking about the pace, the speed of things. Now, one of the ideas to form this group is to speed up the process of safeguarding Europe with more weapons. Now, how will this translate this economic initiative into our collective safety?
Well, this is a very good example because we speak these days a lot about so-called dual-use manufacturing, which could be as important for improving competitiveness of Europe as, I don't know, automotive manufacturing 10 or 20 years ago. So if we are in a different world, then we need maybe satellites, but also satellites we are used for the army as well as for the civilian purpose. So recently in Poland, I spotted a very interesting company which is manufacturing radars station which could be used for as well as the deterrence or could be used on the battlefield as well as for protection of the Polish airports, for example. So it's a very important, particularly these days, new channel of activity where those who are interested should go quickly.
I see. Now,
and they've got money. That's also important, yes, because under the program so-called SAFE,
yes,
I think even Poland has got a credit line 45 billion euros. It's a lot of money.
Of course.
Available.
And now the UK would like to join the SAFE scheme as...
that's not that simple.
As well, precisely. But the UK is already outside of the EU. Now, the question here is whether this no club of six, as defined by Germany's finance minister, won't it ultimately lead to a sort of an erosion of the European Union?
Well, I think that anyway, European Union is under some process of reconstruction, and some solutions which were good in the past are not sufficient today. Just to stick to the example we discussed minutes ago, where it was indicated that one country could really hold up the whole process, which is of the critical importance for the union of over 400 million people. So that, and also so-called single market, which was trademark of the European Union, has to really become single.
Mr. Prime Minister, we've only slightly touched upon the topic of Europe. Now, Epstein files are sending ripples across Europe. Now, how would you comment on reports that Jeffrey Epstein was willing to conspire, I guess, with Russians to offer them some intel on Donald Trump?
That's the second side, or dark side of the really bad, ugly process of sex trafficking and all possible sex abusers Epstein used to carry out over 2 decades or so. And this is a big question. And I think, like in the UK, some interesting questions were not put forward regarding what actually was the purpose of establishing that network of connections, and what was the purpose and what informations were traded during those 2 decades. Because if we now learn more and more that, for example, at that time incumbent minister of the UK government transferred some really financially critical information to Epstein, that was at least an opportunity to make millions of English sterlings. But maybe it was even more if the information was not only related to the last financial crisis. What we have some smaller indications, and I have my particular personal sensitivity to that topic, because many years ago in Davos, in the evening, I was approached by Robert Maxwell, and he asked about the privatization, and let's call it was not the proper way of behavior by a gentleman talking business. So.
And nothing bad happened. In the end, Jan Krzysztof Bielecki, former Prime Minister of Poland, was our guest this evening. Thank you very much, Mr. Prime Minister.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching, and stay with us for more news and interviews here on TVP World.